the season overall here?
I think that we took a lot of positives from it. A primary focus being player development, and we believe that our coaching staff and here in the organization did a good job of moving some of our prospects along. We had a number of players that were recalled to Calgary and were impact players, and I believe obviously they have a good skill set coming in, but their time spent in Adirondack was beneficial for them, and it was disappointing for sure that we weren't able to be in the playoffs here, but there were some positives in the way of player development.
How do you look at not having made the playoffs from a development standpoint? Looking at the very end of the season there, is it they couldn't make the playoffs and that's a bad thing? Obviously that's not a good thing, but that's kind of the defining thing out of the last little bit of the season, or is it, look past that and find these little things here?
Well, I think, and I've said it all along, player development, part of the success of that is winning, is creating a winning culture, and so we didn't succeed in that area here. As I mentioned, I think just from a fitness standpoint and an experience standpoint was well received in player development, but unfortunately we weren't able to make the playoffs, and there's a number of reasons for that. Hard to just pinpoint one particular one. I thought we battled hard all year. There was at times when we were a little bit light on the roster with call-ups and injuries and whatever, and I think that was impacted our success as well.
What was the difference, do you think, in the second half of the season?
A number of things. Not to make excuses was, our schedule. We had a period of a couple of months there where we had a really light schedule. I think there's pros and cons anytime you have that. So I think that's number one. Is how we deal with that, and maybe how we might do some things differently. And that's something for us to talk about if we ever encounter that again. And we did have a number of injuries and call-ups as well, where we had to have players from the East Coast League and college that came down and helped patch some holes there. So I think those are some considerations for the second half. I thought that we competed hard and worked well, but just didn't get some of the breaks and some of the wins that we required.
Looking forward now, do you know how you guys would use the ECHL affiliate? It's a new thing to have an affiliate that you own and operate.
We're going to have more discussions on that. We've just had some preliminary discussions. We're obviously, we're proud of the team that the Calgary Flames will own here in the Adirondack market. Our hope is that we use this as a good development link to our Stockton American League team, where we would have hopefully a handful of prospects down here, and use them up in call-up situations and further develop them. But that we've only had some preliminary discussions. We have a lot of work to do both in Stockton and here over the next number of months, and we look forward to getting plans in place and then executing on those.
Do you think there could be a relationship between what will be Stockton and what will be Adirondack, kind of similar to that between Adirondack and Calgary this year? That kind of scenario. Obviously, it's not the exact same.
Yeah. Our hope is to some extent. You're right. I don't think it would be completely the way it is, but our hope is that we have some good synergies and ties into our structure, and Adirondack ECHL will be one of those, and will be part of our development pyramid.
Do you think it might help in a situation where there were so many, well, of course there were ATOs, but also so many PTOs at the end of the season, bringing guys from the ECHL? If you have affiliate that you own and operate, and I assume probably instill the same system, since that's how you guys have been working so far.
Yes.
Will that maybe help at the end of the season next year when you're calling guys up, but they're from your own organization?
Yeah, we hope so, and there's pros with that. Obviously, I think that would help Stockton, but if you happen to take 5 or 6 players out of the ECHL team, obviously it depletes the roster here. So there is that trickle down effect. So I think we would have to find a good mix for that, just to ensure the success of, of all of our teams. But our hope is that we would have good relationships and good synergies between Stockton and Adirondack next season.
What do you think of your first year in your position now?
I guess personally it was very enjoyable. It was it was a good learning experience, having to be able to lean on Brad Trelevin and Brian Burke and Craig Conroy, who had previous experience doing this. I really enjoyed coming and spending time here in Glens Falls and with our team on the road, and being around our players and getting to know our players and our staff better, and having good opinions on the league, both our players and other teams' players and other teams' organizations. So very enjoyable. Disappointed that we weren't able to make the playoffs, but I thought it was a good step in learning and in my own development.
What is it about Glens Falls that you think is a good place for your ECHL team?
Well, I think two things is the proximity. Just the travel, I think is it's well suited for this area. And number two is the community, and I would categorize that as the local area of so many great places and things to do and see. And secondly, as part of that is the fan base is just tremendous, and the fans all year have just been have been tremendous in their support of our players and our team. And you showed that even right up to the end, the final weekend here of their love for hockey, their support of our team, and we believe that will go forward with the ECHL team.
Great. Well, thank you.
Yeah.